Oh, hello. So glad you could join me today for my evening aperitif. There's nothing I like better in the evening than a fine Cuban cigar. This is Big Shot brand, as a matter of fact. It's very fancy. I like it a lot. And of course, a nice Earl Grey tea to help me calm my nerves before I lay myself down for the evening. I always stick the pinky finger out so as to be as fancy as possible while having my tea. Oh, that was grand. I always get the finest Earl Grey. Because if you're going to do ASMR, you must be as fancy as possible. So I always get the finest quilted northern paper towels to clean off my personal items whenever I get back from a safari. I just got back from Africa. I shot an elephant and then we cut off the tusks. How silly of me to say something so callous, but I cannot tell a lie. I brought back these specimens. They are very fancy breeds of butterflies. But my God, the natives, they smudged this acrylic case in the worst way when they handled it. I was most appalled by their handling of my personal items, if you could imagine what I'm saying. I just got back from safari and I'm wearing my pith helmet. And of course I wanted to show you my acrylic dead encased butterflies. Oh, they're so dear to my heart. Every one of them died nobly in the finest bourbon alcohol possible in the bush. They don't fare so well with their drinking, I've noticed. I outlasted them all. Whenever you're in the bush and one of your compatriots comes back from a moment in the shrubbery, and as he approaches the campfire to partake of the evening beans, if you see him smelling his fingers, you know he didn't wash his hands. I'm telling you, children. Let's just be clear on that. Don't worry. I always wash my hands for tea. That was funny. So here's my butterflies. Do you like them? I doubt anybody's still watching at this point, because this is about as ludicrous as you can get for a fancy ASMR video. Yes, they are so colorful. I love them so much. I will kiss them now. Kissing is an integral part of the intimacy of ASMR. Don't you just love when the camera approaches the lips, the fine rosy lips of the ASMR artist, and they begin to kiss the camera? I love you, butterfly. I especially love the green one. He's so pretty. I put him at the bottom. He was the first one to go, and I applied him first, of course. I love all of you equally, but you're special to me. You're my first. The first is always the one you remember, isn't it? I'm gonna get a lot of comments on this video. See how I attached the butterflies to the back of the box? Yes. I love these things. They are my fine, fancy things. And there's just something special about nature encased in cold acrylic that makes me so happy. Yes. Oh yes. Did you see that? You missed it if you weren't paying attention. I'm going to speak through the acrylic now. Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Dadu. I just love this. So, that's the first object I wanted to share with you from my safari adventures in deepest, darkest Africa. Now, let me see what else I have. Oh, I found this mango banana spread. Oh, it's just to die for. I wish I could share the aroma with you. But alas, the camera fails to even come close to the olfactory odors that are escaping from this mango banana spread. This beautiful candle warmer and entering each of my nostrils. Yes. But I placed the mango bananas spread in this candle warmer that I got handmade by natives in Zaire with the finest ancient craftsmanship of the 19th century. And you just plug it into the wall and the electric heats up the mango banana and a vapor permeates the room. I'm telling you, sister, it's amazing. And talk about tribal artwork. Just look at this handcrafted porcelain. Yes, the finest. I'm amazed at how good they are at what they do. I didn't know they had electricity back then. Who knew? So that's that. I see the 7:30 train is approaching. So I'm gonna suck on my big shot guitar cigar. This is a nightmare. It really is. I doubt anybody's watching anymore. And have a sip of my most precious fancy Earl Grey tea. Oh, that was so good. So absolutely ravenous for my hunger. I am satiated from that Earl Grey. Oh. So, where were we? Let me think. Oh, yes, of course. Oh, I never go to the bush. Huh. I can see that's going to be a comment below. I never go into the bush without being properly prepared. Yes, with my bumper shoot. That's right. Hold on. It's going to get exciting. Oh, look at that. Isn't that amazing? Oh, the finest nylon available for an umbrella of this quality. I know the spinning makes some of you ill, but I just can't help myself. It's so alluring to me. Yes. And the fabric makes the most wonderful sounds. Yes. Oh my. How many silkworms died to make this umbrella? I don't know. Yes. But it is amazing. And the craftsmanship is extraordinary. Just look at this extension. Yes. I was shielded from the harsh rays of the afternoon sun at all times by this umbrella while I was in the Serengeti plains. Yes, I was. I was there. And I wasn't talking about Africa in Orlando, Florida either. I went all the way over to the motherland. So this was a most needed item. And I just love it. The colors are so extraordinary. And that's my colorful little umbrella bumper shoot. Yes. And it makes the most adorable sounds. So fancy. I just love the sounds that it makes. It reminds me of my mother on Easter Sunday saying, "Stay out of the puddles, son. Whatever you do, you'll get your feet wet." Mommy. She did say that. Only the finest fancy ASM artist would have a bumper shoot umbrella of this quality. I feel like I'm on Broadway. And now I would like to take a serious turn, if I may, and show you a couple personal items that I picked up while in Africa. We were bored one night, so in our cabin we decided to get a movie for our DVD player. Yes, that we brought from America, the only country on earth to design these things, VCRs and DVD players and the such. And I found this most extraordinary Paul Thomas Anderson film, The Master. The Master. I think only 14 people have seen this movie. It's just too fancy for the average viewer, and I think it leaves a lot of people out because they can't appreciate the film cinematography evident in a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Now, so it's for connoisseurs of the art of film. It stars Joaquin Phoenix, the late great Seymour Philip Hoffman, and a nice young lady named Amy Adams. The background coloration in this film and the extraordinary time period of 1947-48 reminds me of the time period of the golden age of Dr. Andrew Michaels, who is having a nightmare right now, and I am his worst nightmare. And he cannot escape the torment that I am instilling in his mind at this moment by exposing all of you to high and significant art of the nature of the Master. Yes. There is a lovely scene in this movie where the darling Amy Adams gives the most strenuous hand job to the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman. It is so extraordinarily well done as he fornicates with his wife over an open bathroom sink that I must always remember, as earlier said, she didn't wash her hands afterwards. And you thought this story wasn't going anywhere, didn't you? So if you get a chance to pick up this most exquisite movie by the great Paul Thomas Anderson, please sit down with some popcorn and have a viewing in the privacy of your own home, as not to be embarrassed when the more adult areas of the movie suddenly pop up and smack you right in the mouth. Yes. Now, I watch all of his movies. I would now like to show you a most exquisite and ancient 3D puzzle that I hope is fancy enough for all of your ASMR tastes. Yes. Yes. My paradox puzzle. That's right. An actual 3D puzzle. That's right. And it has a styrofoam base. That's so exquisite to run your fingers over. It produces the most uncanny ASMR triggers imaginable. So fancy. And this 3D MC Escher art, yes, could be yours for the price is right. So fancy. And this 3D puzzle is the world's most difficult 3D jigsaw puzzle. Reconstructed this impossible, paradoxical building in all 3 dimensions. All you have to do is mix it up. Slide and separate the 3 trays. Inside you will find a fascinating and bewildering array of visual paradoxes. Stairs that rise up and up only to arrive at the level at which they began. Yes, impossible alleys and columns and much, much more. Now quickly tip out and separate the tough plastic pieces and mix them all together. Yeah. Amazing. It's so funny. Have you noticed how many times I've had to fix my mustache? I swear nobody's watching at this point. But do you like my helmet? It's from Build-A-Bear. Only the fanciest of pith helmets will do in sub-Sahara Africa. Next, you must make it. Strain your brain trying to reconstruct the picture's foreground, middle ground, and background on 3 play sheets provided. A 2D picture is also enclosed to work from, but it won't tell you which layer each part of the building belongs to, or how the hidden parts fit together. That's a 3D challenge for you to figure out. Next, show it off. When the 3 layers are finished, slide them off the play sheets and back onto the trays. Restack them and slide them back into the box. Then use the hole in the back to hang up your new 3D paradoxical picture. Why, if ages 8 to 108, they aren't joking around that it'll take that many people and that many years to do this puzzle. But let me show you again, because I'm so proud of this rather intricate 3D puzzle. Yes. Look at it. Aren't you enamored with it? I'm afraid to take it apart, because I am, after all, alone in this nightmare. This ASMR nightmare for the dear Dr. Andrew Michaels. Yes. And the trains of doom keep coming. Yes, back and forth every goddamn 15 minutes. I don't know why they're so active tonight, but they just won't go away. And they just keep blowing on that horn, don't they? Don't they, Dr. Andrew Michaels? Just keep sounding that horn of doom. Doom calling you, Dr. Andrew Michaels. Calling you to your doom. I like that. So aesthetically pleasing. So aesthetically pleasing. a xylophone for the silent movie era. Lots of tapping but very little noise on film, wouldn't you say? And one last thing. Did you ever wonder what these are? My bouncy chili peppers. There are 4 fancy chili peppers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they are concave on one side and convex on the other. Can you imagine? How intriguing. Well, each one measures for in the kitchen half a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, and 1 big tablespoon. I bet you never would have guessed, looking at them hanging on the wall, that they were actually measuring devices, kitchen utensils, before your very eyes. Yes, my baby chili peppers. I bet you thought they were just an ornamental object to lure the eyes around the room, but they are not. That's pretty cool, wouldn't you say? Now let's see if I can put them back up without breaking them. Yes. And there you have it. One of my fanciest and most ridiculous ASMR videos I've ever made. And it's a nightmare that the dear Dr. Andrew Michaels will never escape the prison of the mind. Dear Doctor is much grander than the prison of the body or the soul. Thank you for joining me today. Tuning in again next week for another fine episode of Fancy ASMR. Whilst we delve into the 17th century game of high ground in extraordinary detail. The most refined game on how to carry out your battle strategies using artillery, cavalry, and the infantryman. Beware, Dr. Andrew Michaels. Beware. A storm is coming, and you're not going to be the surprise guest at this party that you thought you were.